Power BI versus Tableau versus Looker. Which BI tool is right for your business? Power BI versus Tableau versus Looker. Which BI tool is right for your business? That's what we're tackling today. If you've been wondering about Power BI consulting services, stick around. Next up, Power BI versus Tableau versus Looker. The core differences. The three platforms solve the same problem, but they were built for different buyers. Power BI is Microsoft's tightly integrated tool, priced aggressively and wired into Azure, Microsoft 365, and the broader Power Platform. Tableau, owned by Salesforce, is the visualization specialist analysts reach for when exploration matters more than cost. Looker, now part of Google Cloud, takes a code-first modeling approach built around its LookML semantic layer. Power BI uses DAX and a columnar in-memory engine that handles both self-service and enterprise datasets. Tableau leans on a visual drag-and-drop model with extracts or live connections. Looker is different. Every metric is defined once in LookML, giving you a single source of truth that prevents the three teams, three revenue numbers problem. For organizations investing in Power BI dashboard development, the DAX model is flexible but does require discipline to keep performant. If you run Azure SQL, Synapse, Dataverse, and Microsoft 365, Power BI is the obvious fit. The integration is native rather than bolted on, and a Power Platform development company can connect Power BI to Power Apps and Power Automate without middleware. Tableau and Looker both connect to Azure sources, but you pay for that integration in connector maintenance and identity management overhead. Next up, now, what does Power BI consulting cost compared to Tableau and Looker? Power BI is the lowest cost entry point of the three. Power BI Pro runs about $14 per user per month, while Tableau Creator licenses start near $75 and Looker uses custom platform pricing that often starts in the tens of thousands annually. That gap is why Microsoft Stack companies rarely shortlist all three on price alone. Power BI offers per user, per capacity, and embedded options. Tableau sells Creator, Explorer, and Viewer tiers. Looker prices by platform plus per user, and rarely publishes figures. For a 200-person company, Power BI premium capacity can undercut equivalent Tableau deployments by a wide margin once you factor in viewer access. Licenses are the visible cost. Implementation is the real one. Custom Power Apps development, Power BI dashboard development, and data model work typically run from a few $1,000s for a single report to six figures for an enterprise rollout with governed datasets. Microsoft's own Power BI pricing documentation lays out the license tiers, but budgets separately for the consulting and Power Platform ALM work that makes those licenses pay off. Our Power BI dashboard development guide breaks down a realistic pricing model. Now, let's talk about why governance decides the winner for regulated industries. For healthcare, banking, and logistics teams, the BI decision is really a governance decision. A tool that lets anyone publish a report touching patient or transaction data is a liability, not a feature. This is where Power BI's tie-in to Power Platform governance changes the conversation. Power Platform governance is the set of policies, environments, and controls that decide who can build, what data they can touch, and how solutions move to production. When Power BI lives inside the Power Platform, the same DLP policies, environment strategies, and approval workflows that govern Power Apps also protect your reports. Tableau and Looker have their own governance features, but they sit outside your Microsoft identity and compliance perimeter. Our Power Platform governance framework covers the 6 pillars enterprises actually need. Power Platform governance prevents shadow IT through DLP policies, environment strategies, and approval workflows that catch ungoverned apps and connectors before they spread. Without guardrails, citizen developers spin up reports and flows that quietly create data silos and compliance gaps. Strong citizen developer governance gives those builders a safe sandbox while keeping production locked down. We wrote about how shadow IT eats your Power Platform and how to take back control. Next up, moving on to what can you build beyond dashboards on the Power Platform. One reason Microsoft Stack teams favor Power BI is that it does not stand alone. The same platform delivers apps, automation, and portals, so a single Power Platform development company can build the full workflow around your reports. With Power Apps development services, you can build internal tools that feed and consume the same data your dashboards visualize. The classic decision is Power Apps canvas versus model-driven. Canvas apps give pixel-level control for task-focused tools, while model-driven apps generate UI from your dataverse data model for record-heavy processes. We built a leave management app and Power Apps in 3 days to show how fast Canvas development can move. Reports tell you what happened. Automation acts on it. Power Automate Consulting helps teams turn dashboard insights into triggered actions, such as alerting a logistics manager when on-time delivery drops below threshold. Our roundup of Power Automate workflow examples shows 10 real business use cases with setup steps, from approval routing to invoice processing. Next up, now, how a center of excellence keeps BI and apps under control. As Power BI, Power Apps, and Power Automate adoption grows, ad hoc management stops working. A Power Platform Center of Excellence is how mature organizations scale without losing control. A Power Platform Center of Excellence is a central team and toolkit that standardizes governance, monitors usage, and supports makers across the business. Q Services implements a Power Platform Center of Excellence using Microsoft's COE toolkit, which inventories every app, flow, and dataset so nothing runs unseen. Our guide on building and running a COE in 5 phases walks through the rollout. Citizen developer programs need governance guardrails to prevent data silos and compliance gaps. The point of a COE is not to slow makers down. It is to give them approved templates, environments, and connectors so they build fast and safe. Power Platform ALM ties this together with proper dev, test, and production environments and solution-based deployment. Let's talk about next up, when Tableau or Looker is actually the better choice. We recommend Power BI for most Microsoft Stack clients, but pretending it always wins would be dishonest. Tableau still leads for deep visual analytics where analysts need to explore freely and build complex visuals that Power BI handles awkwardly. Looker wins when you have a strong data engineering team that wants a governed semantic layer in BigQuery and treats analytics as code. If your data lives primarily in Google Cloud, Looker's native BigQuery integration is hard to beat. If you are a Salesforce-centric organization, Tableau's CRM analytics tie-in carries real weight. The integration advantage that makes Power BI compelling on Azure works in reverse on those stacks. Gartner's Magic Quadrant for analytics platforms is a reasonable starting reference for evaluating vendor positioning, though it should never replace a hands-on proof of concept with your own data. Let's talk about next up, conclusion. The Power BI versus Tableau versus Looker decision rarely comes down to which tool has the prettiest charts. For Microsoft Stack businesses in healthcare, banking, and logistics, Power BI usually wins on cost, native Azure integration, and the governance you inherit from the broader Power Platform. Tableau and Looker remain strong choices when your data lives elsewhere or your analysts need specialized visual exploration. The right move is a short proof of concept on your real data before you commit. If you want help running that evaluation, our Power BI consulting services and Power Platform governance team can scope it with you and design a rollout that holds up to audit. Start with a single dashboard, get the data model right, and scale from there.